Hey guys, welcome back to Table Torque. Today we're going to talk about John Brzenk'S thumb. Not just his thumb, but why having a big thumb can enhance your entire game and what you can do to improve it. John Brzenk has one of the biggest thumbs in arm wrestling, and the way he uses it to attack his opponents is incredible. Pronation through your thumb is really important for an outside puller, but does your game only depend on how strong your rotation is? John has a very unique style of pulling, with amazing control over his pronation. What allows him to have that level of control is his thumb. John's hand is really big, but his fingers aren't that long. But wait a second. Are his fingers actually short, or do they just look short because of how thick they are? His thumb creates a problem in the grip. Like I said, if you try to grip him, your hand won't get as deep a grip as you'd want. You can't wrap around the thumb area properly because it's so big, and that makes you uncomfortable. Try doing your maximum wrist curl with a thin handle, and then try it with a fat grip that barely lets you close your hand. You'll instantly feel the difference. A bigger thumb enhances your rotation and creates more effective torque on your opponent's wrist. But is there a way to get maximum depth on your opponent's fingers? Then grip like John. He never covers his thumb with his index and middle finger, like most high-knuckle top rollers do. If you grip like that, you'll get proper depth on your opponent's hand, but you won't get a strong, high-knuckle attacking grip through which you can put pressure on the opponent's top fingers. You'll notice how good John is at transitioning from top roll to hook and hook to top roll mid-match. This grip allows him to get coverage on his opponent's hand while maintaining more control over the thumb. From this position, he can play different styles at once. Even Alexei Voyevoda actually talked about this in a video.
Зажми как можно дальше, зажимай. Вот если у тебя не хватает рук, пальцев, вот так вот убери этот палец и зажимай дальше. Вообще вот это утопия, я не знаю, кто-то кого учит. Это, знаете, это... Ну,
а зачем зажимать палец вообще? С чего это так пошло?
Я сам не знаю, честно, вообще беспонтовая борьба. Тут взял, ты понимаешь, тут ты можешь контролировать захват, выше взять, понимаешь, ниже взять. Зажал, все, у тебя один сегмент, ни о чем вообще, понимаешь? То есть тактики никакой, я вот борюсь, вот.
But what really amazed me was the match between Leonidas and John Brzenk. Leonidas first appeared on Schoolboy's channel, where he was getting pinned by Schoolboy. It wasn't easy, though. At that time, Schoolboy was simply overpowering every bodybuilder he faced. But Leo seemed promising, and something I immediately noticed was his thumb. Not just the thumb, his entire hand looked ridiculously big. It reminded me of Denis Siplinkov. After a few years, he got a rematch with Schoolboy, and he just casually cracked Schoolboy from center like it was nothing. Leonidas's thumb was creating immense torque against Schoolboy's wrist. You could see Schoolboy's flexors straining hard to hold his wrist tight, and after a point, his grip started to weaken, and Leonidas's pronation cracked Schoolboy's wrist. To me, it was so surprising because Schoolboy was a heavy favorite going into that match. But Leonidas shocked everyone. I've seen him training Devon Larratt's pronation lift, and to be honest, it works really well for him. After that, he went against John, and he cracked John. And it wasn't just that he cracked John, he did it without losing his own wrist, though he made a few small mistakes. What Leonidas did was something even Irakli couldn't do to John. You might remember Devon's thumb drama during his preparation for his first match against Gennady. Devon said he wouldn't do any specific weight training for that match. He'd only focus on his thumb, doing thousands of reps every day. Around that time, thumb training became a hot topic in the arm wrestling world. Devon posted videos of himself doing high-rep thumb work with resistance bands, and his thumb looked massive in those clips. It wasn't just then. Devon has always talked about the importance of the thumb in arm wrestling, especially how it affects the grip. He often compliments John Brzenk'S thumb. That's where he learned how crucial it is. Between 2013 and 2018, during the WAL era, Devon was doing great despite coming off multiple surgeries. During that period, Devon used to force almost everyone into a hook, except John. John would just break his wrist back every time. John's ability to lock his pronator while moving sideways prevented Devon from curling him in from the anaconda hook position. He simply escaped the grip. Now, why do I think prime Denis Kiplenkov could take the wrist of most guys in today's top 10? It's because of his hand, his thumb. He also has that sneaky king's move, and he'd definitely take the wrist of guys like Hermes, Vitali, Kurdecha, and others. By taking the wrist, I don't mean completely cracking it, but his defensive position would make it nearly impossible for them to maintain a fully flexed wrist. In most cases, both pullers would end up losing their wrist position. We've talked about John Brzenk'S thumb, but now think about this. Is there anyone with a thumb bigger than John's? Yes, Levan Saginashvili. Levan doesn't just have a big thumb. His entire hand is massive. His fingers are long, thick, and unbelievably strong. His wrist flexors and fingers are powerful enough to hold over 100 kilograms, which is an absolutely ridiculous level of strength. In this video where they grip up, you can clearly see how huge Levan's hand is. Even when John fully curls his wrist and goes for a deep cup, he still can't completely cover Levan's hand. That really puts things into perspective. Just how hard would it be for anyone to hook Levan? In the Levan versus Hermes match, after the pull, Hermes said he wasn't able to access his power properly. He couldn't get the grip he wanted. His hands were forced open because of Levan's massive thumb pad. The way Hermes' fingers wrapped around Levan's thumb made it easy for Levan to access and control Hermes' wrist. We all saw how intense Hermes' lifts were going into that match. He was in peak form, yet he still got completely crushed. What allows Levan to do that is his thumb, his entire hand structure. The amount of cup you need to stop John's rotation is crazy. Even if you're stronger, it doesn't guarantee you can stop him. You need long fingers to cover his massive thumb pad. Devon, for example, used to have long fingers, but he didn't have enough wrist flexion to rotate John's pronation inside. That's why he struggled so much in their WAL match. But now Devon has developed that level of wrist flexion along with his naturally long fingers. For pullers like Sasho or Rustam, they don't have very long fingers, but their wrist flexion is so strong that it compensates for their shorter hand frame. Now let's talk about what you can do to build a bigger, stronger thumb. During his first Gennady prep, Devon emphasized thumb training a lot. He even said, "I'm going to beat Gennady just by training my thumb." He used resistance bands to train his thumb. In one video from that prep, if you look closely, you can clearly see how much bigger his right thumb had become compared to his left. There are other simple ways to train your thumb too. You can use a rubber donut stress ball and just keep squeezing it using your thumb. Push until you reach your thumb's full potential, and whatever you do, never skip thumb training. That's all for today. Hope you liked the video. See you next time.
The hand, when I close the hand, usually I close like this. I can do a lot of power on my wrist, but with him every time I had, because he have very big hand, I had the hand like this, open it like this. And this really super difficult to contain when your hand is open like this.